I just have a different perspective on the same exact thing that's never happened to anyone, before either. And you have it from a 31-year-old's perspective, and you have it from a 21-year-old's perspective. Gotta find an 11-year-old, 51-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And
True.
hit that up in a way where it's like, hey, what's going on? Mixed in with, I think everything's going to be fine. We just need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. We're on the same page.
So Cameron,
Yes.
who are you, my good sir?
My name is Cameron Lilly. I'm a third-year civil engineering major at Cal Poly, but more importantly, I guess, I'm the president of the garden club, and we do like permaculture. We have basically started like a permaculture farm out here, and do some vegetable beds as well. But yeah, just trying to mix that stuff in. I'm from Glen Ellen, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. Yeah, that's
Nice.
yeah.
How'd you end up here?
It's kind of so my second cousin ended up, but like one of them came to Cal Poly, and they told my parents about it when they came out to visit, and then my mom was really stoked about it, so she told me to apply, and we came out and visited and did all that stuff.
It's a really hard sell to come to school here.
Yeah, well, I'd never even heard of it, and I didn't really. I wanted to go to Colorado.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to go to Boulder, and it was honestly just money at the end of the day. Like, this was just the cheapest school, and
It's not the fact that it's at the beach.
no, it really wasn't. That was not even the reason. But I mean, that was definitely a factor. But yeah, it was. I like the mountains more than the beach, to be honest. So
Well, we had those here too.
that's true. I didn't
That's
realize.
what we call mountains here, though.
I didn't realize that at first either. I didn't really realize how beautiful it was.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place.
But
So how did you two meet?
Because of Instagram
Yeah.
and seeing this group post about what's going on in the community, I came out to help.
Yeah.
And came out for a work bee,
yeah,
cut the grass and hung out
Yeah.
and continued relationships, and now we're learning new skills and working on new tools.
it was pretty cool. Yeah.
What about you? Where do you come from?
Jeremy Worth, California, Central Coast. Photographer, videographer, whatever you want to call that these days. Content.
Documenter.
Documentary. Yeah. So yesterday we recorded a phone conversation with my good friend from growing up, Joe Payne, who was a writer, journalist. He was in transit during like the big.
He literally was at JFK and at LAX while all this craziness was going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was eating dumplings in Chinatown 3 days ago. And we're like, okay, let's do this over the phone.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have going on here? And I'm kind of curious.
How has it changed? I'd like to know.
Let's do that.
Yeah, how has it changed in the last week? Like, everything like normal?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of progressed like, everything's going to be just the same. Like, just at first the president sent out like an email like, just try not to leave slow. Try and stay here for spring break. Like, try and don't go other places. And then he kind of like escalated to like, we're gonna partially like put some class online. Like, we'll think about putting. They didn't really talk about the next quarter really, and like other schools had already put the whole quarters on or the whole next semesters online. And then
that transition.
Yeah. And then us 3 days later, or 3 to 4 days later, was probably like, we're gonna have the first 2 weeks online, and then like some of the finals will be online. Like, it's up to your professor. And then the first case happened in SLO, and then he's like, all right, next quarter's online, no, all online finals, and it just kind of like. And then, I don't know, finals kind of just like fizzled away. And then, so I've just had a lot of time, and then now everyone is just leaving in mass.
And we're talking.
All the freshmen are leaving at least, and then all the students are leaving at least.
Well, and that makes sense. The freshmen have less connection within the community. You've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
You have responsibilities.
Yeah.
You got a job and other stuff to people to take care of. And this beautiful property and garden that you guys have been nurturing.
Just a wonderful opportunity, and that opportunity almost presents itself even more now that everything else has kind of gone away. Like, all our other responsibilities have kind of gone away, but like, nature keeps on going. These plants still need to get watered,
Yeah, we don't water them because it's been
figuratively
raining.
speaking, but
Well, they need to be tended to.
Yeah, they need to be tended to.
And part of that's harvest, and connected to that is food and medicine and other resources that people are starting to get a little weird about. But It's all around them. They just forgot.
Yeah. haven't ever known really.
Yeah.
A lot of people, but someone new had some in their family. It's just kind of, I feel like it's gotten lost throughout the generations.
Yeah. It's not a day-to-day basis anymore. And frankly, I think you were telling me that even as a young kid, it was like, I was a teenager before I realized that the food in the supermarket actually came from somewhere other than just magically from the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that thing in the wrapper actually was an animal or something else. Yeah.
Just like 1,000 miles away, or like
just
hundreds of miles away. Like you can't really visualize that distance very well when you're a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
You're like, I don't see it around me, so it must be coming from that grocery store that I go to every other day with my mom. Like, that must be just where it comes from. I don't know.
It kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah,
I used to work
it.
in a casino, and people would be like, do you guys have like a room in the in the hotel?
Really?
We had our own dining areas. We had our own this.
Yeah.
No, there's a whole town. I work here.
Yeah.
This is my work.
I'm just like you.
Yeah, I'm not here on vacation in a funny suit. I'm working, you know?
Yeah.
And that, like, disconnect from like, it's just different, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling with everything going on right now?
I feel good personally. I just think it's probably a very trying time for people who, especially who have older relatives, and like obviously I have older relatives, and I'm worried for them just logically, but I think it is. I mean, I think that any crazy reaction that humans have is going to be way worse than any virus that happens.
Right. Which is something we can control.
Yeah. But something you kind of, because like humans are like an organism, like as a whole like species, we are like an entity that kind of like reacts in different ways, like almost as like one main entity. Like we kind of have like a collective culture.
Like a surge connected to this.
Yeah, it's and so like each individual makes their own decisions, but obviously like it's really easy for a lot of people to get wrapped up in like this like kind of craze of like the society is like stopping as we have never seen it before. Like
kind of like it?
It's kind of nice. I kind of enjoy it. Like I personally enjoy having a lot of time to just kind of even be by yourself outside, getting work done, sunshine. Yeah, just be with friends and like kind of just really reappreciate what you have.
That's true.
So I think it's been a good experience, and I think a lot of people like I was up here with a couple of friends the other day, like harvesting some medicinal herbs for the teas that we were gonna make for like I'm gonna try and just give them to as many people as possible. Just try and like fortify your immune system before something happens, and then. Yeah.
Well, it's before versus after.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of like the difference
proactive versus reactive.
I think that's the difference between our culture versus like Buddhist cultures or like Native cultures. Like where Native Americans are like very proactive in like their way of solving issues. We are almost 100% reactive. Like we get sick and then we go to the doctor versus like we take medicinal herbs and teas throughout our lives, and then when we get sick, which is a lot less frequently probably, then we have like another herb in the back.
Another tool.
Yeah.
Then we bring out the big guns.
And you're just a lot more aware of your health and your sickness and like how your body actually is reacting in the world. I think if you think about it like that versus if you're just like, oh, when I get sick I go here. So like you don't really worry about like what you're doing besides that. And like obviously what you put in your body is the most important. Like food is the most important to building your immune system, and like if you just eat a bunch of crap all the time, you're gonna get sick a lot more than someone who's gonna eat like stuff like greens and probiotics and stuff that's like stimulating to your
and stuff that even the outside coating is healthy. It's part of the nutrition, the biome.
Yeah. Even if you like peel your potatoes versus just eating the peel, like that's something that a lot of people just peel it off, but that's like a lot of the healthy part. Like that's just something super simple with like a food.
I love sweet potato skins. Like they're good. You know.
Yeah. But
even eating.
And you're saving yourself work too by not having to peel the potato. Like.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
you're saving time,
yeah.
effort, energy. You didn't have to buy that tool.
And it's healthier for you.
And it's healthier for you. Sounds like a win-win.
Yeah.
Win.
So why are people? I don't know. I told some friends that I ate some garlic, and they're like, "It's kind of a lot. I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah.
What? Why?
But you can always
You know
cook
that
garlic and
garlic?
put it in your food.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do
garlic.
too.
Yeah.
Garlic is like an antiviral.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
It's
It's one of the
very
best.
strong.
Yeah. And ginger and
Right. And
elderberry
the whole.
and-
yeah. And so he's saying, well, I have a clove of garlic and I cut it in half and I pop it in my mouth and chew it
the
up.
whole thing.
Yeah.
It's alive.
And I still cook with it a lot
Yeah.
But
because I'm trying to be preemptive right
Yeah.
now because I
but if you know it's antiviral,
Yeah.
just take it into
Take it as a medicine. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
it's not fun, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Apple cider vinegar, like all those probiotics.
it's a cheap
that you
thrill.
No, that's
Birds
that's
of
kind of
the
the cool thing about a lot of these, like Indian culture has like all these different herbs and spices that they have just in their food all the time. It's always in their food, and all that stuff is medicine, like turmeric, ginger, like all those Eastern herbs that are super good for you, and they're super like they help your immune system a lot, and like they're all antibacterial, antiviral, like mood suppressant, like they help you.
It's literally flavored with health.
Yeah, it's literally
Right? So,
Yeah.
this curry, it's medicine. It actually
Yeah,
is. Enjoy.
And so
Beautiful.
our food is very much like
Looks?
not that, yeah. Looks maybe, yeah, or I don't think we really have a culture behind food necessarily. I think it depends on who you are. Like, but Americans as a whole have like, and it's just like a blend of everything. Like, we don't have our own necessarily culture, like, because we kind of took that from the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Cheeseburgers seem pretty American to me.
that's true. We've kind of developed a culture recently, but it's not necessarily a
Yeah.
healthy culture. It is a culture though.
So you didn't grow up gardening.
No.
So you would remember like the first time I actually pulled up a carrot, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
It was actually here. I've never actually successfully grown carrots by myself.
They take a long time. It's a
Yeah.
big root,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
Always germinate weird.
Yeah. But if the perception of the person going to the store is that a carrot looks like this,
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't.
or a
look-
baby
yeah.
carrot, those aren't baby carrots. Those are deformed carrots that won't sell because they're not straight, that they then tumble and shave down to baby carrots so you'll buy them,
Yeah.
right? Cool, because it was being thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, oh, this carrot's
Yeah.
crooked, I can't sell this. People won't buy a crooked carrot.
Yeah. But now people won't buy actual carrots because they're like, whoa, those things way bigger than I remember.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, dude. Okay, carrots do not only come in this size.
No, I remember like, because it was at the organic farm when I was volunteering there, and we pulled up a carrot and I ate the carrot, and it was like the sweetest, most delicious carrot I've ever had. I was like, what? This is not what I remember carrots tasting like.
Right? It's a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Same thing with apples. Like, they don't harvest an apple when it's ripe. When it's ripe, you reach up and it literally gives itself to you. No pressure into your hand. You go like that, and it's warmed by the sun. It's the sugars popping, exploding. That's not what you have with something that's harvested early so that it has shelf life, and then that shelf life tastes like it's not ripe.
Because it isn't.
Because it is not.
But that's because like all of our food systems are just done for efficiency, like wherever they're idealized, and we want all the food whenever we want it. Like there's no seasonal, there's no seasonal element to a grocery store.
We want
Like-
it in that type. So
And that's why I have a mango from Peru.
Right in
Boom,
the middle of January.
because it's January and I want it.
Yeah. And so I think changing our food system, like distribution, like as
That's a
getting
big
away from
part of it.
supermarkets and like having a farm stand with where your local farmers right there, and they selling their stuff right there, and you know who they are, and like
Relationships
yeah,
built with them.
exactly. And
Yeah.
no one builds relationships like you're not going to build a relationship with a store clerk or like and you won't even meet the farmer who grew it or the delivery guy who drove it there or.
Yeah, the real story of the food and its quality.
Yeah.
The
It's told to you by
substance.
the company, but that isn't necessarily what's happening.
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah,
Versus literally going and looking in the face of the guy, or actually walking around in the fields
Yeah.
and being like, I can't wait. You say a couple more weeks and these will be ripe?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And then when sometimes they do it by delivery, like
Yeah.
direct from farms. It's absolutely beautiful stuff. And at that point it's like, dude, Bill sent us the strawberries.
Yeah. they're just as
boom.
good as you said they were gonna be. Like,
Yeah, and they are, you
Yeah.
know, and that's something where that experience can be part of food too.
So how do we do all that right now?
No, there are existing CSAs. Like literally, there are organic farms that will deliver a box of fresh vegetables to your house.
But it's not available for everyone. I'd say like it's definitely.
It's a service.
Yeah.
And it's a specialty market because they work. You know, it's a different thing. But it's not as expensive as people think.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And so that's usually like, well, it's too expensive. Or I would have to go out there to pick it up. I can't travel, or I do whatever. No, it's delivered to your house.
Yeah.
You know, and
But
so
at least
there's
a market.
because a lot of
I think in big cities though, that's the big thing where you don't have any of that. Like, yeah, out here, yeah, you could have that, and like there's several farmers market, but like where I lived, there's no farmers market. There's no farmers. There's like, and when you go into the city of Chicago, like there's absolutely none of that.
And even the rangeland or the land that wasn't developed, it was just in monocrops.
Yeah, it was.
So you don't even consider that as like.
Well, you didn't even eat that, you know, like that stuff is being grown for cows and
gasoline.
Yeah, ethanol. Yeah. So
you're
it's like
looking at
it's
it
like
as
what
you're looking at it an oil
I was
field.
always so confused. I was like, why are we growing so much corn? Like I don't eat that much corn. Like I very rarely eat any corn. I feel like, and then, but I mean they do put corn oil in everything, but.
Well, and that changes.
But
actually.
if you're not eating processed foods,
if we're shifting systems, that all of that acreage that was designed and developed for, say, a consolidated or compressed cattle industry, right? All in these feedlots, now can be into wild rangeland of grasses and herbs that they holistically mow through, fertilizing and, you know, as the process goes. The same thing with that property that's put into corn can now be done into, like you're saying, multi-storied permaculture ecosystems.
Or bringing back the prairies that used to be there and grazing bison, and that's a product. And doing the things how they've been proven to work. That stuff is some of the richest soil anywhere.
Until we started messing with it and it all blew away, you know, in the Dust Bowl and other erosion.
I mean, that's like a bigger. I think we were watching a bunch of like the nature documentaries and stuff, and they were talking about the savanna and how the Great Plains is like 4 or 5 times bigger than the savanna, like. Wow. And it's just all corn and soybeans.
It's just
now.
been turned into something else.
Yeah, it's been completely
hidden.
It's crazy how much it's not. They've destroyed probably 99.9% of the habitat that's out there, and.
Well, destroyed means different things that they've changed.
Yeah, they've changed.
And the nice part is they've changed it with one thing.
Yeah.
Which we know how to change that, right?
Yeah.
And that change then equals a restoration. Yeah. And so that's just a job to do.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it for a lot of people, it's look at all these problems. And that's where it ends, and it's very scary. And I think this is where maybe some of the coronavirus stuff parallels. Our planet's gonna kick us off the planet. We can't live anywhere else right now. We need to take care of this. We've killed the ozone. We have plastic islands and blah, 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 you know. And that's like we were talking about before. That's what you guys grew up with.
Yeah.
And so you spent the last 21 years, older generation, other generation, trying to figure out how to fix these problems. And now you guys are ready to actually do it.
Yeah, it's definitely showing us that things are wrong right now. Yeah.
There's an old saying, it's the proof in the pudding, or the, you know, the evidence, or the whatever. You know, it really is that, okay, cool. We played this game for 60 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all documented. We can follow the timeline, no questions asked. This is what it's resulted in. We don't have to give up all our toys.
Yeah.
But the other way, right? There's another way that worked for, you know, a couple million years at least, maybe billions. And at that point, people go, oh, well, maybe we should kind of work with the bigger picture.
But it's hard to get people to think about the bigger picture because
they're afraid.
Yeah, and they don't want to give up their quality of life or their things, or they don't want to change their.
So you said quality of life, and then you said things. We'll transpose it, right? Which means things create the quality of their life.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
And now they're fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
because that's the quality of their life at that moment.
Yeah.
You can use grass. Don't use the thistle.
Don't use the thistle. Wise words of wisdom.
We were cutting the grass, and I kind of asked how you were feeling about everything, and you said and seemed completely fine. There's different people are having different reactions, but I'm so curious why two men like yourselves are so calm.
Well, I think to some extent it's not really directly personally affecting us,
Mm-hmm.
which is not. I mean, it's affected everybody, but I think in the scary way that people were afraid of, like.
You haven't directly lost someone from
Yeah,
this.
exactly. And so I think that makes it obviously a lot easier to keep calm versus someone who's had like a family member who's gotten it and is maybe really sick right now, or something like that, or someone who's like got a weak immune system and is scared of the possibilities, you know. But I just think we also are kind of grounded by the natural world, and I mean, there's
Literally
diseases
grounded.
that it doesn't matter what's happening with the human. I mean, it's probably better for nature that this is happening to us.
Yeah.
And
Well, we're part of nature.
Yeah.
So it's better for us too.
it's true. But humans have taken themselves directly out of nature.
Yeah.
And that's where that's literally where all the problems come from, because we don't understand how the world works. And so we do something and we don't really we don't even think about what's going to happen what are the consequences going to be. We only think about the consequences of the humans, but that's not the only consequence.
I think that's changing.
Yeah, I think it's changing
Like
too.
anytime
but-
someone talks about a probiotic, anytime someone drinks a kombucha, anytime someone has like, I didn't wash this,
Yeah.
right? There's new understanding when it comes to the fact that life is very small to the point that you can't see it with our eyeballs, and that's part of us going through our system, changing our gut, going through our intestines, changing, really making this part of life fuel this system. And because of that, I think that there's a pivot point that's happening too, where people are like, wait a minute, didn't I hear something that there was an alternative? I'm drinking this right now because that life helps me live,
Yeah.
So I think it's changing, which is why most people we've talked to say we're a little worried, but things are fine.
Yeah.
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 I think. I just don't know because I feel like it's at the very, very beginning stages of it right now, and I think that most people are not directly affected, which is why most people can say, okay, this is kind of scary, but I'm pretty okay.
Yeah.
But when it actually affects directly, like almost everybody, which I think is a possibility, then what? Then what are we gonna do?
It will.
Yeah.
It already does in different ways, especially with social media. It feels like that one person in that one town is now in my front yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not helping. If you were just getting news from the old newspapers, you'd be like, Seattle's got some sick people. I guess we're not going up there in the winter.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you would continue to live within your community and do what you have to do without freaking out.
Yeah.
But now we're all connected, which has pros and cons. So how do we use it to help?
We connect and encourage. And part of that is helping people understand the right tools, getting people outside, kind of shifting the focus without ignoring it,
Yeah.
and being personally responsible.
What do you mean by you say going outside? Because some people do have to self-quarantine and it's just go to the store, back,
But like, who's out here?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that makes sense because you're going from one box to another box to another box and you're very comfortable within your boxes.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you have a porch, a deck, you're walking from one box to the other, look up at the sunshine, let it warm your face for half a second, right?
Yeah.
Stand up tall, work that body. Your everything is so cold and tense and fight or flight and scared that it literally needs to open back up and exhale, and then you realize that, did you see that hummingbird earlier, right? And you start connecting, things are actually looking pretty good. We have had all this rain, it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I think that's one thing. Maybe that's why I'm feeling good, is because it's been raining so much, and that was something that I was like, oh no, it's gonna be like, this rain's just gonna be done, and I'm gonna have to worry about like irrigation and like trying to do all that stuff, and then, but like when nature's like taken care of almost. And,
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's all right then. Everything's gonna be okay.
And your soil is alive and a giant ecosystem that has sucked in. I had 6 inches in the last week and a half at my place.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And it's just thirsty.
Yeah, very.
And people say, "Oh, aren't you worried about too much rain?" I'm like, well, that just all that
Mother
rain
Nature
turns into
takes care
green
of that.
growth like
That's right.
immediately.
That's
it's
right.
And it's like seeing the how the rain has affected. You couldn't even tell it rained yesterday. I feel like here.
Yeah.
Versus like if you went to the organic farm, it's gonna be muddy for the next 3 weeks, because.
And you don't have runoff.
And then it's gonna crack and just.
Yeah.
Be impossible to work with, and that's because their soil's bare and
They're
they till
not
and
focused on growing soil
they're focused on
and
trying
what
to
grows
grow.
from that. They're focused on the plant, which makes perfect sense because they're growing that plant. But there's a whole world that grows plants. That's what they love to do.
Yeah.
And
And
we
the
can
thing
work
is,
with
like,
them.
when you have that, you can grow any plant that you want. And it just...
Did it stop recording? I took a picture of us. It's like, that was a special moment.
Yeah.
Hey, how are we doing on time? So that is a wren.
12:08.
Do you see that little guy? He's a cavity nester. I'm almost positive he's got a nest inside your barbecue.
Really?
If you want to go check, just by his behavior.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of doing this weird, like, stand up, look around. He's noisy over there. Then he sneaks closer.
Yeah.
Like that's behavior of like, hey guys, look at me over here. Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah.
This is my house.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I just learned a lesson for sure.
So. Yeah. Right.
That's cool.
Let's watch. He's back. Great. And you see that one's got like a little feather or something in his mouth.
I saw a hawk with a stick in its foot earlier.
See, everybody in nature is getting ready for new life.
Yeah.
Since we're
Watch. You see the other one fly out and just low in the bush?
Yeah.
So this, like we're directing energy out of my thing. He's like, man, I think they can see me. I'm gonna go low. That's exactly what
That's good, because that grill is it's got some broken lines, so we can't even use it. So they can use it.
like, whoa.
Where did he grow? We've watered Jeremy. He's back now.
It's really unique to seriously to see how calm you both are, because communicating with so many people as I do, I've had to have some serious talk downs with a lot of friends and loved ones. So that gives me a lot of hope, because all I'm doing is just I just want to record it and show it to everybody. Hey, just for a second.
But what did we do today? We got up, probably ate breakfast. You went for a walk, right? Because you walked here.
Yeah.
Before we started, I did some work, loopered up the body and got things moving, right? And then we got to work, physically moving, but it was meditative.
Yeah.
Like even you were out there doing it. You liked it, right? You're like, man, there are muscles working here. That's woo, And so all of that then led to us having a nice lunch, sitting down, hanging out amongst friends.
That's not 10 people or more.
Yes.
Still in our bubble, right?
Yeah.
But there's this reality
I'm trying to
that
play
all
a
of those things led to, I'm doing good.
Yeah. Definitely.
If anything, I'm a little cold because we're trying to take video of this. I'd rather be sitting in the sunshine, right?
Yeah.
And we'd be picking ladybugs and stuff off of us as we'd be sitting there. Yeah, that's, like I've talked to you about form and function.
Yeah.
Right?
I've heard that, a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty big on it. So what would you guys casually tell your loved ones to stay healthy?
Yeah, what do you recommend for, name of your town again?
Glen Ellen?
Glen Ellen, Illinois.
Yes.
Nice.
How far from Chicago is that?
Probably like 30-minute drive on the highway.
Cool.
Nice. So what would you tell the cute little old lady down the street that used to yell at you when you were a little kid because you're playing basketball and she's just trying to sleep, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, I just say, like think about, read a book and like learn something new. Like try and learn or read something that you didn't. Especially like when you're older.
Take the opportunity.
Like, take the opportunity. You have an opportunity. It's like, I read this book by Viktor Frankl, who's he was a psychologist in World War II, and he was a Jew, and he got sent to a concentration camp, and he wrote a book about it afterwards, and he said, obviously this is one of the worst situations anyone could be put in, but you know, there's not much, you can't do anything about it, you know, you just have to live your life. And he said he just have to have hope, and he said the people who lost hope, like you could see that their life was over, like in their eyes and they were still alive, but they weren't really alive anymore. And like, obviously that's an extreme example, but I mean, it's still a pretty crazy time right now. And I'd just say, like, take the opportunity. Like, you're limited on certain things, but that means that you're forced to have time. You don't have to have as many responsibilities necessarily, so you can.
That's true. They're telling you not to go to work.
Yeah. So you can read the book that you always wanted to read, or like cook more. Like, instead of eating out all the time, cook more and take that health element into your control. Like, learn a new skill like that. Like, there's always something I think you can do. Then.
Yeah.
And use the technology that we have to maybe pick up
to
the
get
phone.
that resources. Yeah.
Right. We had a great interview the other day over the phone.
Yeah.
Because we did not want to sit across from him. He was in some crazy places.
Yeah. As long as internet's still flowing into your home, use it to your advantage. Let's not get. I mean,
Well, we have internet, right?
We have internet. But
we also have other media and outlets and options for people, and there are still neighbors.
Yeah.
Most people have them.
Yeah. And with the uncertainty of like everything, I feel like stuff has been changing so rapidly, and like tomorrow it could be so different.
Yeah.
Just
you
think,
went from
think
3
about
days.
think about self-sufficiency, you know. Like.
Well, you went from 3 days here at the school. Like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just stay. You might have to stay here for spring break.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, it's the beach, right?
Yeah,
you know. To see ya, you're out.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
You know, and that for some people, especially when they don't know where they're going, is scary.
Yeah.
But if you know where you're at and you're not having to go anywhere, enjoy where you're at.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I like the book idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that book.
I want to.
Tell me to read that book.
I want to hear a suggestion from you.
Okay.
Because you asked all of us to tell our peeps.
Oh.
So you're saying enjoy the time, right? How would you paraphrase in just real quick, and then and then I'll share too.
Cool.
I'd say, it's just a different set of circumstances. So just do things that you enjoy within those circumstances. Like, if you have more time by yourself, like, do things that you enjoy to do by yourself. Like, read and watch a movie. Like, you know, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
In your circumstances. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to say to take a good chunk of that free time and learn something so that when we come back, because we're going to have to rebuild something. So it's coming from the wedding industry, seeing everything get canceled, you know, a few of us are being like, hey, how else can we help right now? You know, so maybe take the skills we already have and improve them and adapt them, just so that when we do come back, we can come back stronger.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Is if, you know, we have a virus, we adapt.
Come back stronger.
Come back stronger.
You
know,
know,
definitely eat healthy.
Yeah.
Do right now, drink all the kombucha. I'm down to eat
Well, the same thing. Cut open a lemon, squeeze all that fresh
that.
Explosion of citric acid and vitamin C and flavor and no sugar.
Put it in your salad,
and drink it. Warm it up if you don't like it cold.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'll also say, if you're at your house, like, you can still go out into your yard and garden.
Yeah.
Like, start a garden. Like, if you've never gardened before, and you like, oh, I don't have time. At my mom,
I would say
she always says she never has time.
If you don't have time, like, and this is what we're kind of doing in your backyard. If we don't have time, and you may not have circumstance, I don't have any money to go buy garden supplies, right?
Yeah.
And you go in your backyard and you look around, I would identify what's already there first.
True.
Even if you think it's a weed, because most of them are edible or medicinal.
Yeah.
And so then that backyard looks like a resource instead of a project that you have to get to and never want to.
Yeah. And that's a different mindset for a lot of people in the area and what we're used to.
Oh yeah, but if you've got time, spend 15 minutes trying to figure out what that thing that's already there that tends to grow without you caring for it.
I think we should share some knowledge too. You know?
What do you mean?
I've been paying attention to my big influencers in my industry, in the high-end commercial world, and I'm hearing a lot of people say, we have a lot of downtime right now, so make a few phone calls, a few FaceTimes, check in on people, and see if you can spread some sort of good knowledge.
Okay.
Just like, hey, if you do squirting lemon in your water in the morning can help you out, especially right now?
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
That's cool.
I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example.
Yeah, yes.
I know.
No, that's a good idea. I like that.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Awesome
I mean, think about it. Some people have them in jars as decoration.
Yeah.
Versus utilizing the resources in the ways that they're needed.
Yeah, that's very true. See if you can help anybody and still stay safe at the same time.
Yeah, we gotta be smart.
Yeah, we have to be smart. We have to be responsible. We have to be safe. And that's a lot of what's going on. People are, counties and schools and everybody's just, hey, let's take a minute, go take a nap. Might be like a 3-week one. Just get some rest. Do some homework.
You'll feel well rested.
Yeah. It was hard to sleep last night.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's the stress.
Energy. Yeah. No, my legs, this is just from pure energy.
Not,
riding the bike. Anyways.
That's true. Well, see, and that's getting out too. Some of those old routines that aren't work, you may still want to go for that walk. Yeah. Every morning. Now you just go around the block or, whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you're afraid to get out of your house, take the opportunity to measure off distance and whatever. Like, have some form of reality check to what you're doing so that it doesn't feel like it's just a big waste of time. And then you're pacing in the middle of the night because you're like, gotta get out of here. How long has it been? Like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially for young kids. Off the walls right.
Dude, straight up bicycle helmets for my kids for a reason. Took my wife, who's a teacher, 2 days to be like, we're outside in the rain. Let's go.
Yeah. Ain't good.
Yeah, wreck on.
Well, dude, I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk with you guys about this stuff.
Appreciate it. And keep up the good work and keep us in touch.
Yes, sir.
And
we'll see you in a bit.
Part of a bigger community.
Look at that. Oh, did I hit your face right now?